The ocean at night is a world unto itself. Vast, dark, holding secrets we can only begin to imagine. Out on that endless expanse, a cruise ship is a city of light, a beacon of human endeavor adrift in the deep. But what happens when the darkness seems to seep inside? When the silence of the sea is broken by sounds that have no source? For decades, tales have been told of these magnificent vessels, ghostly figures on moonlit decks, children's laughter in empty playrooms, a chilling presence felt in the dead of night. Passengers reported footsteps in empty corridors, whispers with no one there. But were these cruise ships truly haunted? Our first port of call is a ship so legendary, she is known as the Grey Ghost, the RMS Queen Mary. Now permanently moored in Long Beach, California, her days of crossing the Atlantic are long over. But the stories, they say, have never left her. Passengers' crew have spoken of things that defy simple explanation. They talk of the spectral form of a young sailor seen in the fiery depths of the engine room. The engine room is where a tragic accident once occurred. His presence is a chilling reminder of the ship's dangerous history. They speak of a lady in white, a graceful apparition gliding through the Queen's salon. Guests in first-class staterooms have reported a telephone ringing at night, only to find the phone is disconnected. These are not just whispers, they are declarations, sworn accounts from frightened people. The sheer volume of these claims is staggering. In the ship's drained swimming pool, people have reported wet footprints appearing and disappearing on dry tiles. They hear faint echoes of splashing and laughter, ghostly remnants of a time when the pool was full of life. Sounds of children crying have been heard near the third-class playroom. According to some tales, a young child met a tragic end there. Each story adds another layer to the ship's mystique. Let's look at the facts. Thousands of paranormal claims have been logged over the years. Investigators have been at work seeking rational explanations. Interviews with former crew members, interviews with naval architects. These experts point to the ship's very bones. The groans and creaks you hear are the sound of an old steel hull settling. Metal expands and contracts, wood warps, pipes knock. These are the natural sounds of an aging giant. The ship is a symphony of mechanical noise that can be misinterpreted at night. The infamous cold spots have also been scrutinized. The ship's original HVAC system is a labyrinth of ducts and vents. Some vents are no longer in use. Old systems can create unpredictable drafts and pockets of cold air. A sudden chill could simply be the ship's old lungs breathing. And what of the apparitions? Sightings in the engine room, sightings in the salons. We must consider the power of suggestion. The Queen Mary's haunted reputation precedes it. A trick of the light, a reflection in a polished surface. A fleeting shadow can be transformed into a ghostly figure. The historical incidents, like the death of the young crewman, are real. Standing in the spot where a life was lost can make your senses play tricks. The history feels so potent it can seem present in the corridors. The ship's second life as a tourist attraction matters too. Ghost tours, paranormal investigations, the legends are part of the business model. That environment encourages and amplifies spooky stories. The narrative of a haunted ship has been cultivated for decades. We are left with a vessel steeped in history and legend. On one hand, thousands of sincere, often terrifying, personal accounts. On the other, logical explanations. Sounds of an old ship, quirks of its ventilation power of suggestion, tragic history. The evidence for the paranormal remains elusive, anecdotal. Next, we set our sights on another monarch of the seas, the Queen Elizabeth II, the QE2. For over 40 years, she was the flagship of the Cunard line, a symbol of British elegance and engineering. Like her predecessor, The QE2 sailed into legend, now a floating hotel in Dubai corridors said to hold more than just memories. Echoes of those who sailed on her guests and former crew have spoken of strange happenings, particularly in the ship's stairwells, secluded cabins, an ethereal woman descending the main staircase in period formal wear. She vanishes before reaching the bottom. Faint sounds of a party in the grand ballroom long after it's locked. Faint clinking of glasses, murmured conversation drifting from sealed doors in cabins. Guests report feeling watched, waking to a presence and heavy stillness. Soft, disembodied whispers, a common thread. A sense of melancholy, something left unfinished. The ship's library has unexplained events. The ship's hospital is another focal point. Tales of phantom nurses on night rounds the QE2's atmosphere. Quiet dignity with spectral sadness, but atmosphere and anecdotes don't prove a haunting investigation, and logic are needed. How many incidents were formally reported? Ship logs and archival statements show surprisingly few documented paranormal complaints. Stories grew after retirement as the ship's legend solidified. Consider the acoustics of a vessel like the QE2. A ship is a complex acoustic environment. Sound travels strangely through steel conversations from decks below, clatter in the galley, hum of the ship's generators transmitted through the hull and emerging elsewhere. That ghostly ballroom could be a distant cleaning crew. Staff routines offer plausible explanations. A crew member in an older uniform down a corridor could be mistaken for an apparition. Misidentified sounds are common whispers. Might be ventilation, creaking panels, or the sea itself. Our brains seek patterns. Audio pareidolia can turn noise into voice. And served as a floating palace for the rich and famous surrounded by history, the past can feel present, a ship of character and eerie tales. Remains but science, logic, and psychology challenge ghost claims. The atmosphere is undeniable, but evidence is personal. So was the QE2 haunted, or simply misunderstood? Our journey now takes us to a vessel with a split personality, the SS France, later reborn as the SS Norway. Launched in 1960, the SS France was a marvel of her time, the longest passenger ship in the world and a proud symbol of French maritime prowess. But her story took a turn, and after years in layup, she was purchased extensively refurbished, re-emerging as the SS Norway, a modern cruise ship. It was after this transformation that the most unsettling stories began to surface. Passengers on the SS Norway started reporting strange occurrences, claims that seemed tied to the ship's original identity. They spoke of an unnerving feeling in certain areas, a sense of displacement, as if two different eras were clashing. Some claimed to see figures dressed in 1960s attire walking the decks, only to vanish into thin air. It was as if the ghost of the SS France was haunting the body of the SS Norway. The tension often centered around the areas that had been most dramatically altered during the refurbishment. Staff reported phantom croupiers, seen out of the corner of their eye, standing at tables that were no longer there. In the modern, brightly lit lounges, guests would sometimes hear faint big band music, a ghostly echo of the ship's first life as a transatlantic liner. The ship, it seemed, was struggling to forget its past. One of the most persistent legends involved the ship's original, now defunct, first-class dining room. The space had been converted into crew quarters, but the stories continued. Crew members assigned to these cabins spoke of waking to the smell of gourmet food cooking when the galleys were closed, or hearing the faint clink of silverware from the other side of their wall. It was as if a spectral dinner service was eternally playing out in the ship's memory. But as with our other stories, we must look beyond the legend and into the records. When we examine the ship's history, we find that the refurbishment of the SS France into the SS Norway was a massive undertaking. Entire sections of the ship were gutted and rebuilt. This process introduces a host of potential sources for strange phenomena. The ship's very structure was changed, and with it, its sounds and behaviors. Mechanical noises are a key suspect. The process of adding new decks, a new casino, meant integrating new electrical systems, plumbing systems, HVAC systems with the old ones. This can create a cacophony of unusual sounds. Vibrations from new, powerful engines could travel through the old framework in unpredictable ways, causing panels to rattle and creating illusions of movement or sound in distant parts of the ship. These vibrations can do more than just make noise. A phenomenon known as infrasound, low-frequency sound below the level of human hearing, can be generated by large engines or ventilation systems. Studies have shown that exposure to infrasound can cause feelings of unease, anxiety, and even the sensation of a presence in the room. It can also cause the human eye to vibrate, leading to visual illusions, like seeing fleeting shapes in your peripheral vision. Many of the apparitions could be tricks of the senses, caused by the ship's own mechanics. The role of the ship's dramatic history cannot be overstated. The transformation from the elegant SS France to the casual SS Norway was a story in itself, one well known to maritime enthusiasts and many of the passengers. The narrative of the ghost of the old ship was a compelling one. People boarded the SS Norway with this story already in their minds, creating a powerful expectation bias. They were looking for remnants of the past, and their minds helped them find it. Interviews with former crew members reveal a more practical perspective. They speak of a ship that was a constant work in progress, a blend of old and new technologies that often clashed. An electrical flicker wasn't a ghost. It was a quirk of the 1960s wiring. A strange smell wasn't a phantom chef. It was a problem with a vent connected to a distant galley. They saw the ship not as haunted, but as a complex and sometimes temperamental machine. So the tale of the SS Norway becomes a story about memory, both human and mechanical. We have passengers and crew experiencing things they cannot explain, set against the backdrop of a vessel literally remade. The ghost was not a spectre of the dead, but an echo of the ship's own past, reverberating through its new form. So was this cruise ship haunted, or simply misunderstood? That's the question. Our next story is different. It is not one of distant legends or bygone eras. It is a modern tragedy, and the tales that surround it are born not of history, but of trauma. On the night of January 13th, 2012, the Costa Concordia cruise ship struck a rock off the coast of Isola del Giglio, Italy, and capsized. 32 people lost their lives in the disaster. In the aftermath, as the ship lay on its side like a wounded beast, a new and somber chapter of maritime lore began to be written. In the months and years that followed, stories began to emerge from those who worked on the salvage operation and from locals on the island. They spoke of eerie sounds coming from the wreck at night. They reported hearing voices, cries for help, and even the sound of a piano playing, drifting across the water from the dark, silent hulk. These were not the playful ghosts of a bygone era. These were echoes of terror and loss. Some salvage workers, tasked with the grim duty of exploring the submerged corridors, spoke of a heavy, oppressive atmosphere inside the wreck. They described feeling an intense sadness and the sense of being watched as they navigated the twisted, underwater hallways. A few even reported fleeting glimpses of figures in the murky water, apparitions that would vanish as quickly as they appeared. The story that gained the most traction was that of a young girl seen wandering the decks of the wrecked ship. Locals on the shore claimed to see her small figure, a ghostly white shape against the rusting steel, looking out towards the sea before disappearing. This particular tale was amplified by the media, becoming a symbol of the tragedy's lingering sorrow. The Concordia was no longer just a shipwreck. It was a haunted vessel, a monument to a night of horror. To understand these claims, we must approach them with the utmost sensitivity. Unlike our other stories, this one is rooted in a very real and recent trauma. The official records and eyewitness reports from the night of the disaster are harrowing. Thousands of people experienced a terrifying event. The human mind has complex ways of processing such profound trauma, and these mechanisms are key to understanding the hauntings of the Concordia. Psychologists who have studied post-traumatic stress know that survivors can experience vivid flashbacks, auditory hallucinations, and a heightened sense of awareness. The brain can replay the sounds and sights of the traumatic event. For a survivor, or even a witness on the shore who heard the chaos of that night, hearing phantom cries for help is not necessarily a paranormal event, but a manifestation of memory and trauma. The mind is trying to make sense of the senseless. The reports from the salvage workers can also be understood through a psychological lens. Working inside a massive submerged wreck where people died is an incredibly stressful and emotionally taxing job. The environment itself, dark, disorienting and silent, is enough to put anyone on edge. The creak of shifting metal becomes a voice, a piece of floating debris becomes a figure. And what of the media's role? The story of the ghost girl and the phantom piano music made for compelling headlines. These stories spread rapidly, taking on a life of their own. The media amplification created a powerful narrative that shaped how people viewed the wreck. It transformed a tragic industrial accident into a ghost story, perhaps as a way for the public to process the scale of the loss. There is no official record or credible evidence of these sightings, only rumor and second-hand accounts. The Concordia itself was a source of constant noise as it settled on its rocky perch. The immense structure was under incredible stress, and the shifting of its weight, the groaning of twisted steel, and the movement of water trapped within its hull would have created a symphony of eerie, unpredictable sounds. The phantom piano could easily have been the sound of wires snapping under tension, or metal plates scraping against each other, their tones carrying across the water at night. The story of the Costa Concordia is not about ghosts in the traditional sense. It is about the ghosts of memory. It is about how a community and the world processes a tragedy. The reported phenomena are not evidence of the supernatural, but of the profound and lasting impact of human loss. The ship was a place of immense suffering, and the stories it generated are a testament to that pain. So, was this cruise ship haunted? Or simply misunderstood? It's a hard thing to say. For our final story, we return to the Cunard line and to the predecessor of the QE2, the original RMS Queen Elizabeth. A ship born on the eve of war, her maiden voyage was a secret dash across the Atlantic to escape the conflict. She served as a troop ship during World War II, before finally beginning her intended career as a luxurious ocean liner. Her life was one of glamour and service, but her end was tragic. After her retirement, the Queen Elizabeth was sold to become a floating university in Hong Kong Harbour. She was renamed the Seawise University. In 1972, during the conversion, mysterious fires broke out on board. The ship was completely gutted by the blaze. Flooded by firefighting water, she capsized and sank in the harbour. Her wreck remained a local landmark for years. As the burnt-out hulk lay in the water, the stories began. Local sailors and fishermen reported strange lights moving about the wreck at night. They spoke of faint ballroom music and the clatter of machinery from the dead ship. The ship, they said, was refusing to die quietly. Firefighters who battled the blaze made compelling claims. They said the fire spread with eerie speed and intelligence. In the chaos and smoke, some reported fleeting figures in old-fashioned uniforms, figures pointing them toward safety, figures pointing them toward dead ends. It felt as if the ship's spirit was present during its final moments, but every legend has roots in reality. The sinking was a major event, and the wreck was a constant reminder. To understand the stories, look at documented reports and plausible explanations. The wreck was not a silent place. A massive, partially submerged metal structure becomes an acoustic chamber. The tide moving in and out of the hull, the wind whistling through burnt-out corridors, the constant groaning of stressed metal. Phantom music could be wind across exposed pipes or cables. The phantom lights have a logical explanation. The wreck was covered in glass, polished metal, pools of water, harbour lights reflecting, passing ships' lights reflecting, moonlight reflecting. A simple reflection seen from a distance can look like something more. Consider the firefighters' conditions. They operated in darkness, thick smoke, extremely dangerous environments, disorientation, stress, sensory deprivation. The mind can create patterns and images. A shadow, a flicker of flame, a fellow firefighter seen through smoke, all could seem ghostly. Grief and memory also played a part. The Queen Elizabeth was beloved, a symbol of an era. Her fiery demise felt like a tragedy worldwide. That collective loss created an emotional atmosphere. People wanted a grand supernatural final chapter. The legends provided one. Ultimately, these stories testify to the ship's powerful legacy. No documented, credible paranormal reports, just anecdotes and folklore. The haunting was not spirits, but the ship's lasting impression on the world. So was it haunted, or simply misunderstood? Well, you know, that's the final thought. So, after sailing through these tales of spectral passengers and phantom crews, what have we found? In the end, no cruise ship has ever produced a single piece of verifiable scientific evidence of paranormal activity. Not a single photograph has ever proven that a ghost was walking the decks. Not a single recording has ever proven that a ghost was walking the decks. Not a single instrument reading has ever proven that a ghost was walking the decks. The stories remain just that, stories. Personal experiences, powerful and sincere, but impossible to prove. And yet, the legends persist, passed down from one traveller to the next. Their fear was real, their confusion was genuine. But the cause of that fear is where the mystery truly lies. It seems the most powerful hauntings are born from a combination of factors. the immense creaking history of an old vessel, the tricks that isolation and darkness can play on our senses, the uniquely human need to find meaning and narrative in the unexplained, fear, history, imagination. The great liners are more than just steel and rivets. They are repositories of human experience. They have been sites of joy, romance, tragedy, war. They carry the weight of all those lives and all those stories within their hulls. And out on the vast, dark water, it is easy to feel that the past is not so far away. The ocean holds many stories, but not all of them are supernatural.